Okay, welcome to Blue Girls Podcast. It's under podcast, but it's a video. So, underneath is the first dream. We're going to be doing dreams of February 2018, and it looks like there's quite a bit for February of 2018. So I'm just going to do that month. Such a strange dream. A couple are at a house. Then there is an area with a lot of people and activity going on. Not the U.S., possibly the military. It reminds me of the same area as in my entry, the row. About 5 people line up near a trailer. Not sure what object it is. They are trying to squeeze underneath the trailer to sleep. I'm next to a guy and tell someone that I am too big and cannot fit. I tell them that I'm a size 16, but actually am a size smaller. I put that in parentheses. Actually, I am a 16 now, but I could possibly get into a 14. But this is 2018, so... Then I see an African-American woman who resembles my psych saw recently in Southwest. Well, anyway, I'm there and trying to get something out of the food machine. Also, there's another area with some older people who are squatting at an abandoned building. The building doesn't look modern or up to code. Well, of course, it's an abandoned building. It reminds me of the movie The Glass Castle, but not sure if abandoned building is in New York with a huge homeless population of Los Angeles. It could be there too. Okay, so the dream, I think I was in the Southwest physically at the time. That's why I recognize for the psych in the Southwest. Okay. Well, with this abandoned building, this could be anywhere nowadays with the U.S., of course. So I don't know why I would think, it might have been Los Angeles because that's in the Southwest. I was closer to Los Angeles, but that doesn't mean it wasn't. Okay, so the next dream is going to be porch. There is an old empty apartment and a woman opens the window on the porch, or to the porch. The building is on the opposite side of a current location. She was supposed to take the bus to her friends, but she overslept. She tried calling her brother with no answer. She gave her friend $200 cash to hold for her. Fell back asleep. All these middle-aged women are in a room. I think a woman is being interviewed. They want her to live with her mom. They don't know mom's deceased. I'm trying to remember what I see driving to get to place. Orange. Okay, so the next dream is fork. Son of a bee. This one. I see a fork that prongs are different at the end, symbols instead. February 3rd. I won't say anything, whatever that means. I vaguely remember that was kind of weird. Small town, still in February. Some people are inside a large sports arena. There's a woman who mentions crossing different states, although I cannot remember which states she mentioned in dream. Boring, ugly, flat states, though. I see a vintage small town that I have not seen in any dream. Then a woman who looks like a childhood friend in the 80s with blonde feathered hair. Also, the guy with short brown hair is in this dream as well. I was waiting for my childhood friend. Okay. Yeah, so I really haven't, usually when I travel, I don't usually pick, there's got to be a reason that I'm going there. And for the most part, I haven't done too many in the Midwest. I mean, and then parts of the South, but I really kind of stay away from the boring flat states, So there's just a handful or more that I haven't been to just because they're boring, and it's like, well, what would I do if I went there? Omaha, Nebraska, or whatever. I don't know. Kansas, I suppose. Dorothy, or whatever. I don't know. So the next dream is luggage. A closet is full of women's clothes. Two women with light-colored hair are helping her. Later, she is waiting in a room with other people. Woodsy area. A woman is playing a guitar, and later someone gives her a hug. There's a woodsy area with a house that has its porch on stilts. Another woman is having sex with one man, then another. Okay, there seems to be a side. Then I see a room with dimensions. Then I see red rocks like Sedona, but not for sure if it's Sedona or not. Ugh. Okay. So I don't know where this house could be when the porch is on stilts. So I have been to Sedona, so I'm assuming I'm correct about that. But it looks like it's two different parts of the United States because, like I said, I don't know where the porch on stilts is, and then Sedona, the Red Rocks. Fell back asleep. I recall a couple of camping close to a path with grass. Then I see a desert in the distance. It reminds me of my childhood townhouse in the backyard instead of grass, and then later they built houses. But in this dream, it's desert instead. I thought this dream was a forgotten dream, but then later I had a dream about a path. Okay, so like growing up, for a good part of my teenage years, our family lived in a townhouse, and I remember my uncle. He was going to. I don't know if he did or not. I think he might have built just like a little fort for us in the backyard, or he was going to. But he might have, because I remember that they told him to tear it down because it was a fire hazard. Yeah, but I meant just like after the backyard, there was all this grass, and they started building these really nice houses out there. Kitchen. The young woman has a gray tabby kitchen in a box with clothing on the bottom. There's an open office area, and a man dressed professionally is sitting at his desk. I see a couple of guys sitting on a couch. There is a guy around who's extremely angry and hateful. Okay. The path. A young woman is with other people as she soaks in a hot tub. A couple of guys are traveling together. One of the guys has a picture of an Irish place on his iPhone, possibly a bar. At nighttime, from a bird's eye view, a young man with short shaved hair is walking on a path that is surrounded by grass. In the distance, he sees a downtown city with skyscrapers. City not familiar. So I vaguely remember a picture of a Irish or Ireland. It was on his iPhone. Okay, so whatever. It sounds like I had two different glimpses because this guy who's walking on a path, you're not going to really see downtown city. Well, you could, but I see a downtown city with skyscrapers. But if he's walking on a path, it's probably a little more further out. Okay, so the next dream is sleeping. A woman is sleeping on her stomach with both her tight-fisted hands underneath her body. I think I woke up once or twice like that. I don't know why I would sleep like that, but I remember that happening in real life. Possibilities. A guy with short brown hair is sitting next to me, or a woman on his couch. I'm thinking of Charlotte, not Charlotte, North Carolina, but possibly Virginia or Nashville. An older naked lady is in his house. The guy has been in recent dreams the last couple of months. There's a guy that looks like him beginning with the letter G. but he is older than the guy in these dreams. Well, the only Charlotte I know is Charlotte, North Carolina. But I could be just trying to zone in on the area during the dream. So I'm saying, okay, well, I'm not, because I've been to Charlotte. And so it could be Virginia. I did have several dreams for years about living in Virginia. And that never came to pass. I kind of was offered an opportunity, but then I found out that the area, well, it would be harder for me I would have to physically go out there and look for a place. It wasn't, here's a place. But then I found out the area had white supremacy, and I didn't really want to be a part of that. So Virginia, I don't really have dreams about Virginia anymore. Nashville. So that's kind of what I'm sensing in the dream. And I have mentioned that sometimes I can go and sense the location of the dream when I'm in the dream, and sometimes I cannot. But anyway, so the next dream is immature. There was a group of young 20-somethings sitting down together. The next dream is, it says immature in 922, whatever that means. I see a handicapped bathroom. Okay, so the next dream is binder. I see a woman walking through a hallway with a white binder. Last night I kept getting interrupted while I was sleeping. So I don't know. I could have just been having nightmares or whatever. Onion. Such a strange dream. This woman who was really into money went to this woman's group. The atmosphere seemed fast paced. Wonder if it is New York. I thought I didn't like Seattle, but I did. I mentioned my relatives in Colorado and California. A woman helped another woman and later hugged her. I wrapped the bottom of my left leg with a Velcro wrap shaped like an onion. Later, she was in someone's house, and as she looked out the back door, there were wolf-like creatures with 4 legs, almost like moose. It was pretty surreal. At the front door, a couple of young women showed up at the door. Also, a couple had a small pop-up tent. Okay. Well, just because it's fast-paced doesn't mean that it's New York, but it could be Boston too, but Boston isn't real fast-paced. So like Seattle, New York, a complete opposite. New York is, whatever fast-paced Seattle is pretty laid back. Anyway. So the next stream is, I don't know what the next stream, this is really slow. Onion. Pier. P-I-E-R, not P-E-E-R. Another forgotten dream. I'm standing on a wooden pier, kind of like Bremerton, but it isn't familiar. I live on a houseboat or house near water. Later in dream, see a guy with black wavy hair, dark eyes, and wearing a leather jacket. So I remember this dream. I was standing on a pier and I was waiting for a boat to come in, a ferry, and it reminded me of Bremerton, Washington, but it wasn't a pier that I ever been to before in real life. And I just remember it was really elevated, on wood, but to this day, I don't know where it is. Like I said, it's someplace I've never been to. The engagement. This dream is clear. I'm in an upstairs room of a friend's place. I go downstairs and she is talking on the phone. Later, there is an engagement, possibly a work engagement, with people around in a room with a pool. People were looking at me close up. If I saw them on the street, I would recognize one of them. Everyone is smiling and appear happy. She sees one guy who she hasn't seen since he was a kid. He had long blonde hair and still does, but he is in his early 20s. One woman looks like my big sister's friend, same name as her, beginning with the letter J. This time her hair is to her chin. I don't remember this dream. So it's rare for me to see people close up in my dream. So that's kind of strange. High school classmates. A couple of people were talking about their high school classmates. Remember Sophia? She had red hair. Then there was some other guy who was African American, but do not remember his name. Yeah, so there was this girl, and my high school, whatever her name was, Sophia. Yeah, and she did have red hair. And I think this African American guy, he kind of lived in the area of where I was growing up, but he was, there was a lower circle and an upper circle. That's what they used to call it. And he was more in the lower circle, but he wasn't my friend. I think his name was Moses, but I'm not for sure, or Marvin or something like that. Heart shape, a young woman who was carrying around a folder and notebook. The woman gives her a heart-shaped piece of paper with writing on it. Someone drops her off. Okay, so that looks like that's it for February, but I'm going to check just to make sure. Yeah, that's it. Okay, well, I don't know. I guess I can do March of 2018 because that's kind of take a while. Well, that's weird. Well, this might be it because it's kind of taking too long. March 2018. Oh, there we go. I hit the wrong one. Yeah. Here we go. In room, a young blonde-haired woman with short hair, possibly a lesbian. Then another guy is in his messy room. He prints out something on the printer. Orange tabby. Waterboard and orange tabby is on the table at the veterinarian's. He has been injured with parts of his fur missing. I did have an orange tabby before a long time ago, but he never got injured like that. Mountains. I have been out of town for about a week, so when traveling, I rarely have dreams. I say a fair on March 9th, 2018. A guy goes into a small room. This is mountains containing items on a shelf. Another bought a different house because it was cheaper and half was rented out to someone else. He walks outside and right in front of him is a mountain, rocks and waterfall. I guess when people go in this area, they get subliminal digital messages, so he didn't walk too far on the rocks. I vaguely remember this dream as I'm reading it. I just got a subliminal message too. Beat me up, actually, what it was. It was weird because then there was this guy on the bus who mentioned subliminal message, and I thought, okay, that's kind of weird, and maybe it was. Anyway. Okay. So from what I remember of this dream, this guy, like he will not go into the mountains because of they get some kind of subliminal message, which is kind of strange. But I think somebody told them that, so it's almost like a curse. Um, it says a subliminal digital message. So I don't know where that was. That's kind of strange, though. But nothing's really kind of shocks me after having dreams for so long. Red dots. A photo of a woman's legs with red dots on them. A woman wants to borrow $100 and $100 of her own money. She wants to pay weekly instead of monthly, short by $65. Wants to go to Vegas and stay up all night to gamble. Okay, so the red dots could have been in real life because I got these bites or whatever. It might have been, I don't know, flea bites or something from the bugs one time. Black girl. A black girl around age 11 was hanging out with an adult and now has been hanging out with people her own age, so a woman was glad. March 9th, an affair. February 26th, harm me. Now, these are dreams, by the way. So, meds. A friend is by himself. It takes a day or two to transfer meds from out of state. I was there with him. My mom, youngest brother, and me all are at a counter. I say it's just a dream. I have over $1,000 of them. Rebecca sleep in open area where people are waiting for bus, all ethnic, not Greyhound. Someone goes up to a counter and gets a slip to travel, has change in pocket. Later, when outside, see a bus and a bus shelter area, not familiar at all. Oh, I have over $1,000 of 1,000 documented dreams. I don't even know how many I have, actually. So there is a bus that you can take, and I've taken it once, that's mainly Mexican and Spanish or whatever clients. It's not Greyhound, but it's another one that goes to like El Paso, Albuquerque, Phoenix, and there's other ones. It might even go to Los Angeles. I'm not sure. But I think I took that once just because of, I have to make sure that I get there at a decent time. Well, this is weird. This didn't come. A friend is by himself. It takes a day or two to transfer meds from out of state. I was there with him. I don't know why but I didn't see that in the dream. Okay, I don't have hanging $7. The guy is sitting at his desk with loads of paperwork. He looks on his screen of his computer and sees information including $7. A ticket one way to Los Angeles, then to Boston. It could be 7th of the month because I have been sensing trouble on the 7th for a couple of months now. I shouldn't say that. Hanging on. A young blonde-haired girl is in her pajamas is carrying around another young woman around her neck. She goes into a small room with other women sleeping in their beds. Then a guy has a single key, 2 water jugs that are mine. Then next day when I woke, I was questioned about a single key left in the bathroom. When I left my building, saw a guy from the dream. Okay, so this was kind of weird, in which this one girl was carrying around a younger girl on her back. So it was some kind of whatever kid, I guess. Catches her. As a woman walks into a large room, she sees a woman and infant lying down on a mat. Later, a Mexican woman with large brown eyes and short curly hair is talking on the phone in her bedroom. A woman mentions something as if it was her, then it asks to leave. Later, she is sitting on a chair in the dark waiting until morning. Then there's a small space where several male homeless guys are wandering. close-up. There's a Mexican woman who has a strip of bleached hair, almost like an orange color on top of her head. I guess I am at her place, something about $400 in Arizona and New Mexico. Then there are chairs that several African-American women are sitting in, all dressed up professionally with really cool hairstyles. I do not recognize any of them. It is if I'm actually sitting there in the chair in the room with them. I mentioned, someone on the bus mentioned the word trap. Okay, so I think I have one more. 2 semi-overweight women are trying to remember a woman's name, Crystal. Confiscate. Ballot. I don't want her to go away. Wonder what that's about. Mall. A couple of tall white guys are walking in the parking lot of a mall. I see a map but cannot identify any cities. A line is going in all directions. A woman briefly stops at a Kinko store to go on the internet. Reno, then Seattle. Seattle is the most beautiful place I've ever lived. It is. And visited, I would say. Although I was just thinking about that last night, and I have not been to the state of Washington in 8 years, even just to visit. Anyway, okay, so that concludes February of 2018 through March 2018. And thank you for listening, watching, whatever.